Hi and welcome to Sci-Fi Fans. I'm your host and science fiction author of Broken Ceasefire, W.A. Blinko, or Wayne, as I like to be called by my friends. Today's episode is going to be slightly different. I'm not going to be given a review or opinion of anything within the pop culture. Instead, I've got an interview for you lined up with another science fiction author. His name, Asa Rodriguez, and he is the author of a book called Benjamin Jones, called Of the Shaman, which is available on Amazon. I have read the story myself, and it's quite an enjoyable tale of an orphan boy who finds out who he is. Without further ado, I'm going to now switch to the Skype call that we had a couple of weeks ago, and I hope you enjoy this little insight into what it's like to be an author, and please do support Asa. His book is really worth a read, and I hope you enjoy this video. Cheers.
Okay, so my name is Asael Rodriguez. My name is Asa for friends and for fans, for people, because it's short, Asa Rodriguez. I mainly started writing a way to connect people and a way to spiritually awaken people to things, moral character, all this stuff. So I started writing non-fiction books. But then, I also have a desire to connect people with stories, with entertainment. So I thought to myself, okay, maybe I can start writing fantasy or fiction and add some kind of awakening or examples to help people. So I came up with this little series, which at first wasn't going to be a series. It was going to be just one book. It's called Benjamin Jones, The Call of the Shaman. So it's about an orphan boy who his father is a shaman. Sometimes they disappear, and they are believed to be dead. So the little orphan Ben goes to an institution that takes care of the let's say the people, the kids that don't have mother, father, an orphanage in 1890. This boy has visions of his father now, a shaman, and he has to go on this quest. And he has to recover this artifact which is being stolen, which is called the Sphere of Truth and Wisdom. This magical orb has the capacity to open the portal into heaven and into other worlds. So he has to go recover this artifact. So he has friends to go with him, and he has an important friend that he's a spiritual guru, which is kind of guiding him through this quest, because there's evil forces to put an obstacle into this quest and everything. And it's kind of a way to reach the audience and to entertain them and to kind of bring about the magic of life, because sometimes people live stressed and live lost, and they think that life is pain, life is suffering, but sometimes, or most of the time, the mind just chooses to suffer, So that's what I'm all about, in short.
That's fine. And it's I like the characters and the friendship between Benjamin and Atta. That's a really good and works really well for the story. The other thing that I enjoyed with your book is the 3 separate stories that you have. So you have your traditional chapters, and then I like the traditional chapters, then those little side stories to build a bit more of the world and the environment. That I think was a really nice idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, how did you come up with that idea? Is that just something that you do with your writing, or?
Well, no, really, this is something new. Because the whole deal with me is that I can see something in my mind, but I want to explain it to people so they can actually feel and think the same that I'm feeling and thinking. And I think for me as a writer, the most important thing is explaining things to people. It's not imagining things, because people can imagine, that's easy, but explaining things in paper. So I came up with a way that if I'm going with the story and I find that something is important to explain, and I have to start another short story, a few pages. I want to kind of the public to have the sense of really getting to know the characters, because at the end, when you write a story, it's all about the characters. If the people the reader can actually know the characters, they will love your book. But if the character is not well expressed, even if the story is nice, if the character is not well developed, they're not going to feel the story.
And
let me just say, for me, the characters are like real people. It's like you, for example. I like you, you're nice and everything, but if I get to know you better, or if you get to know me better, you can see the kind of person I am, and we can have a better relationship. You know what I mean? Getting to know the people, it's important.
And that really comes across with the little history and the detail that you put in those short stories within the story. They really help, and you get to know the characters, and you get that sense of world building at the same time, which adds to it. And I was surprised when I come across it for the first time in the book, and once I read that, and then the story developed again, and then you had another one, it highlighted for me it's another way from a writer's perspective of building up that world without having a massive break in the story, and it puts another perspective within the story as well, so you get to genuinely understand what the characters are going through and their history, and I really like that aspect.
And that's exactly what I wanted to get across, so thank you for understanding that part.
No, that's fine. And again, as a writer myself, it's very difficult to stand out from the crowd, and that was a very unique way of doing that. So how did you come up with the idea and the characters of Benjamin?
Well, with Benjamin, I wanted to do something like for juvenile or young adults. I wanted to do something innocent and nice, and start like innocent and nice, but I wanted to show that even a little kid can have the tests of a grown-up or a really difficult life. And I wanted to show that in this life, we're not alone. If we have people around us, like Benjamin has friends, we can really have a better life. Sometimes people say, because they're depressed with their own life, and they say to themselves, okay, I'm gonna close my heart, I'm gonna go alone at this. And sometimes we kind of get distance from the people that we love. This happens to me, to everybody. And sometimes we get angry with life and with people. And I think that we all need somebody in our lives, somebody to guide us, somebody to find our magic, because we all have a uniqueness in our personality that needs development, but sometimes we need to be helped to find ourselves. So I was kind of looking to develop those characters in that story in a way that people can get acquainted or connected in a way,
And something that I found is very similar. It kind of felt a little bit like the Harry Potter story, in the fact that you've got an orphan, a young boy that's life is in turmoil, and it's how he develops who he is as a person, growing and building up friendships. I also loved the science fiction aspect of it, having the elders as actually being aliens. I don't want to give away too much of the story to people that are listening or watching, because it describes as science fiction, and as I was reading and going through it, I was waiting for the science fiction part to kick in, and when it does, it's really detailed, nicely explained, and adds to the story. And I like the history of everything.
Thank
I don't want to give away too much, because the idea is people will listen to this and go and buy a copy. So what got you into publishing on Amazon? Have you tried the normal route of publishing, or
I did try the normal route, and I had bad experiences and good experiences. But the thing is that I don't see this as wrong, okay? But people in the publishing industry, in these publishing houses, they are very judgmental, and I'm not complaining, okay? But I like my readers to judge me for my writing, not these people. These people don't even read the book. So in my experience, I send them my query or whatever to tell them if they want to read my book, and they start judging me without reading the book. I don't like that.
Got a problem with the connection. Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me?
You broke up on that little bit. Let me just try something.
Yeah.
So if you could just go over again why you've gone down Amazon Publishing, and then hopefully we'll get all of that.
Publishing houses, big publishing houses, I have applied. I have sent query letters and everything, and I have gotten good comments and bad comments. But the thing is that you see, for me, selling books, that's important. I'm not going to be naive about it. Making money is important because I have things to pay. But the most important thing for me is that the reader enjoys my book and actually reads my book. I wanna connect. I wanna bring a message through my writing.
Yeah. And
all these people that when you send queries to these people, they don't actually read my book. They only read the first few pages or the query or whatever you send them, and they judge you. And I'm not complaining. That's fine. But that's not what I like. That's not my route. I don't want that, because I want you to read my book and judge it when you finish it. Tell me, you like my book or not? But I want you to read it. Yeah. I don't want you to read the first page and tell me, oh, no, I don't like this. Because to actually like something, you have to read the whole book. So I chose Amazon because it's easy with them. And, I get to publish my book. And even though I don't have, starting as an indie author is very difficult, people have the opportunity to publish there and to make their messages across, to bring their messages across. So, for me, it's, the most difficult part is marketing and bringing the book to the awareness of the reader, because, in Amazon, there's thousands and thousands of books, so people get lost in there. So it's very difficult for you to find readers. Even if you're really good, it's really difficult. But that's what gets me going, the difficulty, the challenge. If it was easy, I probably wouldn't like it that much. I always in life look for a challenge to better myself.
Good. I think we do, don't we? And that's good. So when did you first have the idea of Benjamin Jones?
Actually, I had it for a while. I had ideas of it. I didn't have the whole story or even the name Benjamin. But I have an idea that I wanted to start with a little kid, and because the thing is that with my characters, I put a little bit of me into each character, because if I want to explain that character well, what better than to explain myself, to explain the part of me that I know. So for example, Benjamin is very curious about life and very he wants to learn more, right?
Yeah.
And you see in the quest that he wants to learn more and he wants to understand more, and he's asking questions and he's trying to find out his magic and everything. And the thing is that with me, I always had that. Always had that curiosity to learn, and I was rebellious when I was a kid, and I wanted to learn, and I wanted to do it on my own terms. I don't want people to tell me how to do it. I want my own terms. So Benjamin has something like that, and so the first idea came because I wanted to express myself, and in my childhood, so I wanted to create a kid that had some of my traits, and then from then started growing into his friends and into all this story. But it started from me. I wanted to express myself like that.
How many books do you plan to have in the series of Benjamin?
Well, I'm not really set on a number yet, but I'm guessing that right now I have ideas for this book that I'm finishing, which is The Return of the Gods, which is the second part, and then I have another part which is going to be about a coven of witches that he meets on the second one, a coven of witches, and then I think there's going to be a fourth one, but I don't know if there's going to be four or what, because I get excited with the story as I create it, so so the story really makes me go. The story and what happens in the story. Yeah.
So when you write, do you plan everything out and have like charts of where the character's going and where you see the story, or do you just sit in front of your computer and type away and the ideas kind of flow to you?
Well, actually, I'm kind of I think it's called a pantser, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of both, because when I start a book, I like to start with ideas, and I have ideas of how I want the story to go or the book to go. But then, as I write, I get new ideas, and I may change those ideas. So I kind of go along a map I have in my head of the story, but I kind of change it because I might like the story to go one way and then another way. I mean, it's all about the characters, as I was saying earlier. So if the character is feeling, this way, I want to keep the character feeling this way. So I may want to go this way. You know what I mean? So I want the character to actually seem alive. I mean, that's silly to say seem alive, but I want the character to kind of get his own life. You know what I mean?
That's not silly at all, Asa. I mean, that's very much how I write. I'm a pantser myself, and I totally get what you're saying, because I, for me personally, I start off with possibly an ending. I know how the story's going to end, but I don't know how we're going to get to that ending. So I start off in my mind. I know how it's going to finish.
That's the great thing, doesn't it? The process. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. No, and yeah. I mean, I'm just starting off publishing myself, and I just really want to reach out to as many people as I can, and just get together. And I've really enjoyed this little chat with you, Asa. Is there anything else you'd like to say about your book? The sequel is coming. Have you seen the trailer, the book trailer? I have it on Twitter. Have you seen it? I can send it. You haven't? No, I'll look it up, definitely.
Yeah, it's really cool. You really like it because Benjamin goes to kind of a purgatory, a hell, and so he's kind of getting in touch with his own darkness, and he's been imprisoned by the Lord of Darkness, the necromancer. That's the evil guy in the story. So it's kind of interesting. The book trailer is about all this darkness, this traveling, this imprisonment,
Yeah.
and it's a very short book trailer, and you like it.
Yeah.
So what I want to say is that the story Benjamin Jones, the Call of the Shaman, it's a very intense story. Now I like to think, I've been told that I like to develop the story and I like to explain the story well. So when you read the story, you'll feel that, and that you'll feel that I like to express the story, and you'll get on board with it. I know if you like fantasy, you'll get on board with it, and I have made good ideas. So.
So I can certainly vouch for it. It's well crafted. I like the characters, the story, the development. Yeah, if you like fantasy, if you like science fiction, it's a good combination of both of those genres. And I can certainly see it appealing to your target audience of young adults as well.
So
and
let me just deviate a little bit from here, and let me ask you something. As a writer, you said you're kind of a pantser too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. Do you feel some kind of a sadness when you have to kill off a character, or when you have to maim a character, or hurt a character in some way? Because I was going through that the other day, and I didn't know, what to do, what to feel.
I haven't killed off a main character yet, apart from a villain, so they kind of deserved it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give away too much on but there's possibly somebody that did pass that has survived for the second book. I've kind of done it. Have you heard the saying of if there's no body, there's no death?
I've heard it. Yeah, I've heard it.
I've kind of used that to bring this person back. I kind of know where they're going, but they need to be in a specific place for the second book to Broken Ceasefire to really kick on and get started. So
sometimes they kind of have to evolve, for the second part or other parts.
Yeah.
I find it interesting too.
I did, when I'd done the first draft, I did kill off a character totally, but then I felt that it was too much of a cliche. So after going through the editing process, I brought them back because I thought this needs to change. It's been done so many times. Basically, my main character's wife gets killed off, and then that becomes his motivation for the rest of the book. And I just kind of felt that was being done over and over again, that I needed to do something different. So I brought her back to life. She's in a comatose state, so she's still very vulnerable in her position.
So she's giving you the hope that she can wake up, but you don't know if she's going to wake up because she's comatose.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good idea.
The headache that it gave me, though, because I had to rewrite certain parts of the story that I thought I was finished with.
That's good, because the reader that has that mystery, that he doesn't know what's going to happen. So I think that suspense, that mystery, brings about life to the story, and I think it's very interesting. I like that kind of a plot.
And I'm not even sure how she's going to figure into the second book, because when I done it, that's the joy of a pantser.
It is. I feel like that sometimes. I feel like I have no way out with my story, but then I keep going and I find new ideas, and I keep understanding more about my own characters and my own story. Can you hear me?
I can now. You froze for a second.
Oh, okay. So as I develop the story, I kind of find interesting that I'm in no escape situation. I'm kind of hitting a wall, and then I keep going and I find new ideas, and I keep going and I keep developing and bringing more ideas and more story to the to the book. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I'm hopeful, and I suspect, just like yourself, that this can become my full-time job. But as I say, it's early days yet, and who knows what's around the corner.
And I think that writing and publishing is all about patience and commitment. Because sometimes an author can be really good and can have really high expectations, and he says to himself, I'm gonna sell books because my book's really good and I'm really good. But the thing is that it doesn't matter how good you are, it's gonna take patience and commitment. So this writing is not just something that you do on the side. If you want to be successful, you gotta be committed and patient.
Definitely.
This is how I see it in my journey to writing, because before publishing, I used to think I'm really good at this, so I'm gonna be really successful. But the thing is that it's gonna take me time. Now I'm finding out it's gonna take me time.
Yeah.
So so good for you if you hang on in there, because you're gonna make it.
Thank you, and you will. I mean, I wrote my story 20 years ago, and it took me this long to get it to where it is now. And yeah, I'm not backing away from this. I'm fully committed, and it is patience. You're absolutely right. It's patience, dedication, and hard work.
Yes, it is a lot of hard work. Yes, but it's. I think I find the joy in the actual journey.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about an outcome. I'm not thinking about a lot of money and a lot of popularity, which is good also. But I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about enjoying the journey. I want to feel proud of my work and of what I do every day. I think that happiness, it's in the journey, in what you do. It's not in the outcome.
Yeah. No, definitely. Okay. So if that's all right, I'm going to wrap this up here, Asa, and just say to anybody listening or watching this, please do check out Asa and the Benjamin. Did you just show us your book again? It's
Benjamin Jones, The Call of the Shame. This is number one. Number two is being written, and there's more to come. So hang in there.
Okay, so check out Asa on Amazon, and thank you very much for joining me. And let me know when it's released, and we can do another podcast.
Oh, that's awesome! Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this.
I am. It's been really cool.
Yeah.
We've worked out the time difference.
Oh yes, and it's been an honor, because this is my first podcast, and it's really interesting to actually talk to another author, because I don't have many people I can talk to. I mean, yes, in Twitter, but it's not the same, because in Twitter you don't talk to a person face to face, so it's kind of different, So I'm really relishing this connection.
And I am as well, Asa. It's been really, really good, and I'm glad we've been able to do it. And as I say, let me know when you're going to be releasing the second book, and I'll get you on the show, and we can have a similar chat then. Hopefully, I might be a step forward.
And on Twitter, I'm gonna tweet my book trailer again, and I will mention you, so you can check it out. Okay, the book trailer, because it's really cool. I made it myself, so I'm making my own book trailer. So
that's okay. I'll check that out, and I'll hopefully have this sorted to go live on. So I'll be in touch, and I'll supply you with the links so that you can spread the word as well on your social media platforms. Okay.
Yes.
And I look,
And you know what? I'm thinking that I send this link also to my subscribers, because my subscribers receive my news, my things. So I send them
yeah,
this, and they'll be interested in this.
brilliant. Okay, cool. And yeah, I do a newsletter as well. And this is going to go into my newsletter for April too. So it'd be cool.
That's perfect.
Thank you very much for joining me, Asa. Enjoy the rest of your day,
Thank you very much.
and I'll speak to you soon.
I'll
Cheers.
speak to you soon.
Thank you very much for stopping by and watching this episode of Sci-Fi Fans. If you've enjoyed yourself here, you might like the content that I do on TikTok and Clapper, which is film trivia basically. So not too dissimilar to what I do here. On both platforms, I'm under the handle of Sci-Fi One, sci.fi1, and I produce videos there every day about movie trivia, actor trivia, and anything related to pop culture. I also have a Facebook page called Sci-Fi Fans, as well as the podcast, which you've just watched an episode of on this platform. You can find the podcast Sci-Fi Fans on your preferred podcast platform, whether that be Apple, Google or Amazon. And yeah, thanks a lot for stopping by. Don't forget to come back for some more movie trivia and reviews. Cheers.